Hello, my little sinners and saints. Today we're going to be talking about the murder of a Playboy bunny, Dorothy Stratton. This is Dorothy Stratton. Um, we'll talk a little bit about her life and career. Dorothy Stratton was born in Grace Maternity Hospital in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, on February 28, 1960, to Simon and Nellie Hogg Stratton, who had immigrated from the Netherlands. In 1961, her brother John Arthur was born. Her sister Louise followed in May of 1968. In 1977, Stratton was attending Central High School in Clam. I'm not even trying that. Concurrently, she was working part-time at the Dairy Queen, where she met 26-year-old Vancouver area club promoter and pimp Paul Snyder, who began dating her. Snyder later had a photographer take professional nude pictures of Stratton, which were sent to Playboy magazine in the summer of 1978. She was underage she was under the age of 19, which the legal age, I guess, is 19 in British Columbia. So she had to persuade her mother to sign the model release form. In August 1978, Stratton moved to Los Angeles, California, where she was chosen to be a finalist for the 25th anniversary Great Playmate Hunt. Snyder joined her in October. They married in June the following year. With her surname shortened to Stratton, she became Playboy's Miss August 1979 and began working as a bunny at the Playboy Club in Century City, Los Angeles. Hugh Hefner had high hopes for Stratton, could have meaningful crossover success as an actress. She was featured in episodes such as Buck Rogers and Fantasy Island in 1979. Also that year, she had small roles in films like Americathon and The Roller Disco and Skate Town, USA. She had a lead role in the exploitation film Autumn Born, also released in 1979. Hefner was told by Playboy employees that Stratton should sever ties with Snyder. Hef had little concern for her safety or well-being. Roseanne Caton and other friends warned Stratton about Snyder's behavior. Okay, this is March 1980 to July 1980. On March 22nd, 1980, Stratton flew to New York City to begin her film to film the project They All Laughed, 1981, a romantic comedy being directed by Peter Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich. Laughed would be Stratton's fifth movie in the career, and she had only begun the year before and represented her first substantial role in a big budget picture, playing the unhappy married love interest of John Ritter. One of the film stars, Bob we'll call him B, who wrote the screenplay, said that the interview that he had based the backstory on Stratton's character on what he had learned about her marriage to Snyder. Stratton and B began an affair during the production. Stratton had spent at least 2.5 months, 1980, completing her Playmate of the Year shoot and making her previous movie, Galaxian, in Southern California. Okay, we're going to move on up some. Snyder and her do get a divorce. Where they're estranged. Okay. On August 13th, 1980, let's look at some more pictures here. Sorry. I want to give a, that was Paul B. That's B there. That was Snyder. It looks cool. That was them on their wedding day. Um, it was said, and this is the truth, that they go through. She met big stars like Snoop Dogg. They had the parties and stuff. That's what goes on to Playboy Mansion. That's the Playboy Mansion. She had an interview where she's talking about how she was shy. They were looking for the naive girl next door. And these were the older outfits. I don't know if they're changed now. This is the older outfits. But they would get inspections. They could wear pantyhose if they wanted. They always had to wear heels. They always had to wear the cuffs. They all had bunny tails. And then the little cuffs up here, the neck things, and the bunny ears. They would get $1,000 a week if they messed up, like coming in late, doing little naughty things. Then their $1,000 would get cut. I'm not sure by how much, but it would get cut. And most of it went back into them getting their hair done, their nails, things like that, tans. Said Hugh Hefner hated chipped nails. On August 13th, 1980, the second anniversary of Stratton's first arrival in Los Angeles, Snyder bought a used 12 gauge pump action shotgun from a private seller he found in a local classified ad. Later that evening, he had a conversation with friends. Snyder described how he had purchased the gun that day and finished the story by cryptically declaring that he was going to take up hunting. Snyder casually brought up the subject of Playboy playmates who unexpectedly died. She talked about the mansion after she left. This is one of the ladies that died the previous year he was talking about. In particular, he spoke of Claudia Jennings, an actress and former Playmate of the Year who had been killed in a car accident the year before. Snyder made several morbid remarks to the companions related to the problems at the Playboy magazine caused by Jennings' death, including a comment about how the editors would have to pull new photos of the dead Playmate for the next issue if there was time. Stratton arrived at the meeting with Snyder at his rented West Los Angeles house approximately at noon on Thursday, August 14th. She had spent the morning conferring with her business manager, and one of the topics the pair discussed was the amount of the property settlement Stratton would offer her estranged husband that afternoon. The police later found $1,100 in cash and Stratton's belongings in the house, which she apparently brought for Snyder as a down payment. Towards the end of the evening, Towards the end of the morning meeting, Stratton's business manager made a fateful observation that his young client could avoid spending any time with Snyder by handling off the remaining separation and divorce negotiations to her lawyer. Stratton replied that the process would go a lot easier if she dealt with Snyder personally, explaining that he would be nice about everything and finally adding, I'd like to remain his friend. Snyder's two roommates had left that morning, so the couple were alone when Stratton stepped into the house. Excuse me. When Stratton stepped into the house, she had shared with her husband until just a few months earlier. By all appearances, Stratton had spent some time in the living room when her purse was found lying open. But before Snyder went into the bedroom, by 8 o'clock that evening, both of the roommates had returned to the house. They saw Stratton's car parked out front and noted that Snyder's bedroom door was closed. Assuming the couple had reconciled and wanted their privacy, the roommates spent the next several hours watching TV in the living room. Alerted by Snyder's private detective, the roommates entered the bedroom shortly after 11 p.m. and discovered the bodies of Stratton and Snyder. Each had been killed by a single shotgun blast. Both bodies were nude. According to the police timeline, Snyder had shot Stratton in the afternoon within an hour of her arrival at the house, then committed suicide approximately 1 hour after the murder. Sometime after midnight, in the early morning of August 15th, the private detective telephoned the Playboy mansion and told Hefner that Stratton had been murdered. Hefner called B after collapsing at the news. B was sedated. Stratton's mother was told that her daughter's death at Vancouver area home later that morning by Officer Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Stratton's body was cremated and the remains interred in the Westwood Village Memorial Cemetery and Park Cemetery in Los Angeles. Stratton's grave marker includes a passage chosen by Bean from chapter 35 of Ernest Hemingway's novel A Farewell to Arms. 3 years after the murder, the author's granddaughter, Merrill Hemingway, played Stratton in Star 80, the Bob Fosse biopic about the doomed playmate and her husband. That's Snyder. And that's her grave marker. I know this was short, but I just wanted to do it. I come across it and I thought this would be a good little kind of different true crime. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon. And as always,